Welcome to the Off-Duty Gamer's analysis of the first Medal of Honor Warfighter gameplay trailer. The trailer begins in Isabela City in the Philippines, at the known hangout for Abu Sayyaf. The background newscast is a reminder of the American missionaries who were held hostage back in 2001. One of the hostages was killed during a rescue attempt. The red dot progression indicates a possible timeline of events, meaning that the Philippines gameplay is not in the beginning of the story. Preacher and Voodoo play a part in the rescue effort, as evidenced by radio chatter. We see two operators wearing what appears to be a version of the Ops Core fast helmet, while the operator in the foreground is wearing a boonie. Handguards on the HK-416 look different. M4 variant for sure, but what type? It should be noted that these two operators are Filipino. One of the operators has his barrel in the water. The foregrip looks a little too far back. To know for sure, that would require independent verification. The weapon appears to be equipped with an EO-Tech ACOG sight. The operator next to the water barrel crouches down and looks towards his battle buddy. He's getting ready to move and wants to know he's ready. Number 2 man is still in a low tactical crouch. The breach charge blows the door. No hearing protection is visible on any of the operators, so the noise is going to be deafening. Not sure of the SOP, but hearing protection is typically used when using firearms and are issued as part of standard equipment. If there was time to prepare, they more than likely would have had some on hand. You can make out the foreground operator squinting with his teeth clenched. No matter how often you hear something like that, your body always reacts. Splinters fly, but the team is in a good position to avoid debris thrown by the door. The team moves in. As I mentioned, the two operators in the foreground are not U.S. forces but Filipino. Note the different camo pattern. They belong to the Filipino Special Warfare Group, or SWAG. SWAG is based on SEAL teams and has extensive experience against Abu Sayyaf. Now we find ourselves in first-person view. The player is holding the HK-416. Filipino troops have camelbacks. No gloves, though, and that equals sweaty palms. The entry team moves in. No water displacement as they move. The operator takes a knee behind a piece of debris, hoping it's large and heavy enough to withstand gunfire. Area is flooded, which means the operation is possibly taking place during or after a tsunami. Unfavorable weather works towards the advantage of surprise. Gunfire from a balcony. The operator swings right to engage, giving his partner some backup. Good detail on water impact and background environment. Buddy takes cover and the player rushes forward, probably to get near some cover himself. Good transition from iron sights to the ACOG. But I would have taken the shot as the target is already lined up. Sight alignment is a little off-center, but hard to be perfect when you're under fire. Hostile target is slightly fuzzy, while the sights are clear. The operator in the front takes a shot. You can actually see the shell casing go flying by, which is a nice touch. Then full transition to ACOG. Crosshairs put the round going straight through the target's right eye as the Tango takes a shot. Player puts a quick double tap in the head, and the target's head explodes like a water balloon. We notice the Tango on a balcony, wearing a bandolier of 40mm grenade rounds. Takes some rounds to the torso, presumably, and falls forward over the railing. The blast is strong enough to splinter wood and send it flying, but the boxes and bottles on the desk remain in place. It's odd that the vase is not phased either. Apparently, these bad guys are having some sort of disagreement. One has the M1911 to the chin of the other. Everyone around is nervous, and you can see the guy wearing the shema motioning in a calm-down gesture. Up close, the hammer is not cocked. 1911s only fire in single action, so the hammer would have to be back. The bad guy looks crazy, one eye bigger than the other. Facial features place him as possibly Middle Eastern, Iranian maybe. Then the bad guy aims somewhere off to his left. Trigger is pulled, no hammer or slide animation. Another round comes in from somewhere. Did the bad guy with the 1911 take another shot? We can't tell. Blood spurt seems to come from the area of the collarbone. We cut to a sniper team in place. The spotter is asking, did he kill a hostage? Maybe the rounds flying in the previous scene were just that, but unknown. Regardless, this probably would kick off the operation, indicating these scenes are not necessarily in chronological order. Notice the Coyote impact gloves, while the spotting scope is still unknown. Thread pattern in the utility uniform is visible. Strangely, in this segment, there's a magical floating chair from previous breakdown. Solid shooting stance from SWAG member. One operator crouched, scanning for targets, assessing the situation. Rear stock of the rifle melds into sleeve of the character. Mako patch is visible. Notice the detail of the muzzle blast and shell casings visible from the weapon that is firing. Again, solid shooting position. As the operator raises his weapon, both eyes are open and focused on the target. Classic shooting from the kneeling position. Switching back to the previous scene, Swag has taken cover behind a post. SEAL operator has taken over firing. Good way to conserve ammo while maintaining constant stream of lead downrange. That way, you're not both reloading at the same time. HK-416 spits out shell casings, but the ejection port does not appear to have a cover on it. Not certain if that weapon has one, but it probably does. Just a big gaping hole where the port should be. Now we have a manual door breach. Why is the player bringing a pistol to a rifle fight? Double tap from a Glock model pistol as Tango charges in. One is visible to the left, crouched behind a desk with an AK-74, probably labeled as AK-47, gas tube, and longer flash suppressor as opposed to the 47. The Glock is probably a Model 22, which is a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson round. At least a 4-man entry team, probably more like 6. Number 1 man tosses a flashbang in the room. You can see the other operators look away to shield their eyes and ears from the blast. The flashbang disables the tangos. Team moves in, and we know what happens next. At least 4 civilians are being exfiltrated by the rescue team. Moving down the stairs, rounds ricochet about. One civilian is doing some emergency first aid to his neck by keeping pressure on the wound. 2 of the SEALs begin engaging a target on their left side, moving towards the concrete siding for cover. Good hand and arm signals. It appears he is commanding 2 operators to the right to encircle an area or target. Now we see the SEALs on the rib boat. One troop has been wounded and is being assisted to the boat. The other operator mans the MK-19 automatic grenade launcher. Here we see a view of the 2 ribs in tandem, exiting the area. Definitely the end of a tsunami. You'll notice the side view, which really complements the crew. In this portion of the trailer, you can see an RPG round that nearly strikes the boat as it's going through a flooded village area. If you look closely, you can actually see the stem of the round. Next, we see the first-person view of the MK-19. The gunner is engaging an enemy technical. The first round falls a bit off target, but the second round impacts dead center. But he's not depressing the trigger. Those handles he's holding are just that. The trigger is operated using the thumbs and is the butterfly-shaped object in between his hands. He continues shooting the truck. Of course, I would too. We see an explosion, and the rib boat is making itself out of harm's way. A quick flash, and the Blackbird patch is revealed. Finally, we see a sort of countdown, showing each country and the units involved, ending with global map showing them all. We hope you've enjoyed this analysis of the Medal of Honor Warfighter gameplay trailer. Thanks for watching.